Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Taurus. If Taurus is your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising sign, then this is a message for you. All right, let's get started. Okay, so let's see what these tea leaves have to say. And this is a bonus reading for Taurus coming out on Saturday. Saturdays are our bonus reading day. And Taurus comes out. I always forget. I need to post some right next to me where I can see it. I need to print it out or write it. So I don't have to I keep having to pull this up every time. And not very interesting as I try to find it. Let's see. Where's my little schedule? Where did you go? There you are. So, Thursdays, Taurus. That's my homework for tonight. Making a little schedule paper so I don't have to look at my phone every time. So, Taurus is usually coming out on Thursdays now. Today, for this reading, it is a bonus reading, okay? And our card for this reading is the Two of Cups. And these cards are the Hermetic Tarot deck. And it says, Lord of Love. These are really cool cards. Very detailed drawings. A lot of symbolism. Okay, so it looks like first I see, and you you might be too young to remember phones like this, but we used to have these big old phones. I remember when I was a kid, we had one in the kitchen with the long spirally, phone cord, the big receiver part, and the little talking part at the bottom. And I used to get in trouble because I would unscrew. I would try to unscrew it all the time. So, somebody trying to get a hold of you, okay? Something coming through. It feels like this maybe is somebody. It seems like it might be like a feminine energy. I'm seeing, and I say this because I'm seeing, I see right here, we have a person who's wearing, maybe it is a robe or a cape, but it looks like maybe wearing a dress, and here wearing a dress as well. And of course, that doesn't mean they're feminine, but there is a feeling of this. That is just coming through for me. And then we have another one here, okay? And they all seem to be kind of putting their arm out, if you can see that. So, I almost feel like there's somebody who is like trying to reach out to you. I almost wonder if this is like an old friend, maybe and I'm looking, as I'm saying it, it looks like ex. Maybe an ex-friend, maybe an ex-partner. It could be that this is like maybe an estranged family member. There's a lot of love, a lot of history here, okay? And I wouldn't be surprised if the T has something to do with their name or their name or something that describes them, okay? Like if they're a teacher or something like that. But it seems like, I feel like there was like almost a falling out. It looks stormy here. If you can see, there's this little tree right here. And then when I look at it, it feels like it's being blown around. Okay, like in a tropical storm. And up here, we have the same person, it almost looks like, reaching out. But then there's more of a masculine here. We also have a donkey. And I was thinking, oh, this looks like a, what are they called? Like a rocking horse, you know? But like a donkey. But I almost feel like this is when it comes to my mind, it's like a frivolous man. A man that feels like they have no power. So they're very controlling. And I almost wonder if this is a person, and again, we have the T right here, okay? I almost wonder if this is like a person that you are close to. They were in a relationship, or they are in a relationship where their spouse or their partner was really very insecure, or is very insecure, and kind of like isolated them from their family or this friendship. I know this is so specific, but it really feels like, it feels like, you know, they're calling out to you in some way, or at least wanting you to know, you know, that there was a lot of sadness around kind of being separated, that this was not their intention. But they, you know, they kind of made the choice, or they were kind of coerced into the choice, kind of cornered into this. And, you know, and maybe you didn't even realize this was what was happening. You just kind of, you know, sometimes it just happens with friends. Family, they get married and they're busy, and you don't see them as much, and you don't really communicate that often, and then next thing you know, it's been like 2 years since the last time you talked. And it's nothing personal, but it's that everybody's busy. You know, you just don't prioritize. And maybe you felt like something, maybe you didn't like this person, you didn't like this guy, but maybe you didn't think it was to this level. And I'm looking at this sailboat, and it feels like just a feeling of wanting to get away. Wanting to get away. And, you know, where I think the Two of Cups comes in is that you are kind of a place of love for them. You are somebody that was always good to them. They were always good to you. When they think of you, they think of this safe and unconditional place. You're not just a person in a relationship. You symbolize like a whole kind of love, a kind of, you know, important time in their life. Hello. You coming to join us? Okay, you can stay there, but I gotta be right here. All right. So now we also have, and we have the bowl right here. So there's our Taurus bowl. You can see the horn, and we can see the body. And then it looks like a person who is walking with them. Okay. You can see their foot right there. And so, excuse you, did you just hiccup? And so, you know, I feel like as this energy is coming through, it's coming through. And it's a very emotional experience, but I don't know that there's a lot for you to do about this right now until they make the decision to leave or, you know, get to a safe place. You can't force people out of situations like this. Oh, TD. Mama's gonna have to move old Papa Legba. He keeps getting knocked over, doesn't he? Oh, my goodness. Every reading, every reading lately, it's just been a mess. Stuff getting knocked over. Sorry, Papa. You're going to have to go down here for now. I'm going to set you right there. I'm going to have to find you a new home. Or somehow get you, like, stabilized. Because TT tends to knock you right over. Okay, so... My goodness, T, you really are a force of nature, aren't you? So... With this Taurus, and it's a mighty, mighty symbol, isn't it? It really is, you and your power. You know, there's nothing really to be done until somebody decides. You can't save anybody from these situations. That's not to say that you can't be a safe haven, right? Or somebody who can assist in some way if you are, if they reach out to you or whatever. But, you know, it's hard. It's hard to know what to do. Also trying to offer help to find resources and, you know, whatever. It's a really, it can be a sticky situation because, you know, you just don't really know what kind of situation you can put them in trying to get involved, right? It could make it worse. So, you know, I think that you're ready to go. I feel like you feel this real, it's like, you know, all of a sudden you're thinking about them. They come up in conversation with people. It just seems right there, you know, even if you haven't talked in like months or years or whatever. It just seems very apparent to me that this energy is very close and reaching out to you. And if they do actually try to call you or text you or whatever, you know, I would say don't ignore it. Okay. But at the same time, and this is important, you know, I think that because you are so aligned with spirit and you have been, there's so much love in your life. There's a lot of stability and consistency. I think you're really taking care of yourself emotionally and spiritually. You know, and this is important that this continues. Living intentionally. And that has been, you know, one of your main goals, I think. You know, it's easy for us to say, oh, live with intention, be intentional about all the things. It takes a lot of work. It does. It's tiring. Yeah, until you learn how to do it, like it's, you know, it becomes, you know, the nature of things because we're conditioned out of it, you know, in every way. For many years, in our most formative, most important years, it's conditioned out of us. So it takes work to get back there. But I think that this is something that is really important to you. Intentional living, intuitive living, trusting yourself, really on a deep level. Really trusting yourself, even when it is something that you find quite difficult. Quite confronting. You know, it's not all puppy dogs and rainbows, as my husband likes to say. Shout out to Dove and Serpent Tarot. It's not. You know, this process this process of awakening, this process of refinement of self, of self-evolution, you know, spiritual alchemy, shadow work, you know, whatever it is, whatever you like to call it, whatever, you know, you are part of, you know, whatever modality or system or jargon or whatever, it doesn't matter. It's all hard. It's difficult. You know, it's easier to just, you know, ignore all of that, right? But you're here for a reason. You're here for this message. And this is what's coming through. And these are the kinds of things we talk about here. We do a lot. You know, these aren't just fortune telling things. You know, we like to talk about, we like to get into, and I say we, you and I, you in this community here. We're here because we want to evolve as beings. We have a lot of light, a lot of love. I think a lot of us are led by love. A lot of us have, you know, a lot of pain, trauma, difficult stories, difficult origins. And we find each other, and we find each other for a reason. And I'm told, my husband told me this, I need to start mentioning, and it's going to be so unnatural when I do. If you have not subscribed yet, please subscribe. Think about subscribing. It is free. You know, do that before before the video's over and you forget to do it. You know, we'd love to have you part of the community here. So you just hit that little button there. But anyways, yeah, we do find each other. You know, it's like that song, that Rihanna song. We've found love in a hopeless place. I don't know that's the line in it. I don't know if that's what it's called. We do. We find love in hopeless places. We find each other. We find each other in the dark. We're like little beacons, all of us here. And, you know, there's that strength. And you're going to be a beacon for these people in your life. Even people you don't know. That will come out of nowhere, asking you for advice, asking you, you know, for help, just to listen to them, whatever it is. And I say just to listen to them. It's one of the greatest gifts you can give. And it's not easy either. We all are short of time. We're distracted. We have a million things going on. It's hard to listen to each other sometimes. But when we really give our attention to somebody, especially somebody who is isolated, somebody who feels alienated, disenfranchised, abused, forgotten, abandoned, neglected, whatever, it's the ultimate gift. You know. And if it's one thing I know about Taurus people, is that you all are really good at making people feel special, included. You're very inclusive, community-oriented people. You create your own communities. You are not afraid to be who you are, to find special things in other people that maybe they don't even, you know, necessarily share about themselves. You know, but you have this innate ability to make people feel seen and heard and safe. You're just hiccuping all over the place, silly. She's getting so relaxed. She's over here hiccuping. Okay, so we have another T. Okay, and this just, is it Taurus or is this a name? There's so many T's on here. Now, we also have a blooming flower right here, okay? So, I really feel like, you know, there's almost kind of, really? There's almost kind of Go lay down. I love you. I'll be there soon. There's almost kind of this feeling of kind of like in a pond. A long flower growing out of the grass, out of the marsh, or maybe not the pond, but like a marsh, a watery area. Okay. And it's beautiful, and it is hardy, and it is, it dances with the wind with that long grass. You might look at it and think, it's a beautiful flower, but it's not necessarily the most beautiful flower you've ever seen. But kind of that's what gives it its beauty, is that it's in a place where you wouldn't really look for great beauty. It's pretty. If you've ever seen a marsh, which is like a wetland, right? It's almost like a pond, but it's just kind of a soggy area. Not basically like a swamp, kind of, not as deep necessarily. There's marsh in the swamp. But anyways, it's pretty. They're pretty areas, but they're not necessarily, you wouldn't always think of, oh, this is like the most beautiful place. Although I love them because there's a lot of beautiful birds that visit these areas, like cranes and heron and, things like this. So anyways, I see this kind of flower in there, and this is the feeling. It's just so understated, but it's enduring. And there's just this feeling of it being kind of out of reach. That's the other thing. You can't go out there and unless you have waders on, I guess. But you're not going to go out there to get this flower. It's not like something you would just pick on the side of a trail. It's something that can be seen from far off, admired from away. You might even miss it if you're not looking, right? And, in some ways I feel like this person, and this is, there's just something unobtainable about them, and it's almost kind of a sadness, because it feels like maybe this has always kind of been how they were in some way, just kind of a little too far out of reach. But this relationship that they've gotten into, and maybe this is because they were a person that felt like they couldn't connect with most people, and their spouse or whatever found them, and in some ways preyed upon them, knowingly or not. Okay. And, and so anyways, I know these are so specific sometimes, and I know some of you probably are like, okay, Lenor, this is not my reading. Where did my little Brock go? We'll have to find it in a minute. But sometimes this is what happens. It comes through, and I can just see it in my mind's eye. And this one's really potent. So, take care of yourself. Keep doing the things you're doing. We continue to love these people in our life who kind of get away from us a little bit. But, it's kind of like you just leave a candle in the window, right? You are a safe harbor. And when they're ready, they will come. Okay, hopefully. Hopefully. All right, so we're going to look at the Dreamer's deck, and these are, I can't read it, but these are affirmations. I think it's 40 affirmations for realizing your dreams. And it's from the I Know collection. I'm going to stop where it feels right. And it says, I know that exploring my passions will lead me to my purpose. I am doing what feels good. Yeah. I like that one. And hopefully this is, balancing all this other balancing out the other stuff. But it, you know, truly it is. You know, as we talked about, you're living an intentional period of your life. And that's really important. You know, that's something a lot of us never figure out how to do. So, Taurus, I'm going to go ahead and say thank you so much for spending this time with me. It is always such an honor to be able to bring these messages to you. If you would be so kind as to like the video, it really helps the channel so much. And if you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. It's free. It's free for you to subscribe. And hit the little bell. It'll let you know when the next videos are coming out. Taurus, regular Taurus videos are out on Thursday. This is a bonus. So this will be out on Saturday. And if you want to leave a comment, please do. I read them all. They mean so much to me. And I thank you and I love you. And we will talk again real soon.